The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
You know, I want to address a couple of things on this episode, and I want to give some credit to P and Bird for being the inspiration. You know, it's like P and Bird don't get the credit they deserve when it comes to the South takeover because people move on. People don't appreciate history. People are living in the present and in the now to the point to where they forget about things that contributed to why we are where we at in the now. So a lot of love is being given to Outkast and Andre 3000 and a few other individuals for setting the precedent in the South and setting the precedent in the culture. But P, it was one time that making $400 million independently, even though, you know, I don't condone, even though I participated in those street activities in my lifetime, I don't condone the way that he got his finances, he obtained his finances, but it still should be celebrated, it still should be appreciated, and it still should be acknowledged because $400 million, independent black owned, paying the distributor, Priority Records, and the other record labels that he was paying because he wasn't signed. He was paying them to distribute his music. It's unprecedented. Then when you think about Birdman at Universal with the 85-15 deal or the 90-10 that he has expressed so many times in interviews, that they set the blueprint up for how you can get some bread, man. If you got the traction, if your people are supporting what you're creating. It's just that these boys deserve their flowers. But what I'm highlighting on this content and on this piece right here is the tension in New Orleans. And ever since Bootsy made that statement on Vlad TV about people dying in their own cities and things like that, it's just, it seems to be to the point to where acknowledging unification in the black community seems pointless. I see a lot of platforms highlighting black and everything that they talk about is black, even though I acknowledge black history and black education and acknowledgement on my channel also. But I just talk about what's interesting to me on my platform. I really don't have no niche or something that I'm trying to sell to people or something that I want y'all to gravitate to stay on my channel. What I do over here is just speak of things of my interest and try to highlight them, be objective about them. And if you are entertained and educated, so be it. Thank you for tuning in. Give a round of applause to yourself. You the GOAT, you the champion. Thank you for tuning in. But I want to play this clip. I want to converse about this clip with y'all because he talks about how the tension arose in New Orleans and where it came from and a lot of things, man. Let's get to it, though.
Or something like that? Magnolia Projects?
I mean, people say that, but dog, you gotta imagine. I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
Okay.
My dad lived in the Calliope. That's why I lived in the Calliope with my dad. When my mom and my dad split, I went to Calliope. My brother, my sister, they went to the Magnolia. My mom lived in the Magnolia. So I went to both. I went to both projects. After my mama got a little job, she moved in a house on Pennison Street, right up the street from the Magnolia. So I got family in the Magnolia and family in the Calliope.
Right.
So, I mean, it really wasn't no beefing with us. You know, it's just that.
Because it reminds me of what you said, Hot Boys, earlier, and you guys had a Hot Boys.
Well, my Hot Boy was a different. You'll see it in the movie,
right.
in the King of the South Ice Cream Man movie. You know, my cousin, man, he had a good heart,
right.
but he was about that life.
Right.
So, you know, I almost lost my life for him.
Wow.
So,
God bless.
You know, yeah, I almost lost my life with him as a kid. And so he ended up going to prison and I ended up going to college. So yeah, you know, and man, it's about you gotta want to change. Right. So I let people know, and you gonna see this in my movie. Right. I knew God had a way for me that day. So I'm faking. I want to be like Hot Boy, my cousin. He the man back there in the project where I live at. I'm shooting dice. I got like 1,500 on him. You know, I'm nickel and diamond. He the man. He got about 20, 30 G's on him. I'm in high school. This is my senior year. So all the shooters are high schoolers. Wow. Your goal is to live to be 19 at that time for me. That's what me and my brother go. My brother died at 19. My homeboys that go to school with me, 8 of them jumped out of Cutlass and said, P, you know what it is. And Hot Boy, he the man. He said, man, whatever. I threw my money up in the air. I couldn't run.
And they was trying to rob you saying?
They come with it.
Right.
They come with it. It's 4 on each side. We in the project shooting dice. You only can run up the steps.
I'm going to let him continue on with that story, but I want to say something about that, is that he is telling that story eloquently because I feel like some people that was with Cash Money was involved. And if you have followed this story, you know it has been spoken a lot of times, but not by P and Birdman. And when he spoke about this story, it kind of was eye-opening because we never expected to hear it from P or Birdman.
If you run that way, they're going to shoot you in the back or whatever because you try to run through the cold way. Wow. I wanted to live. I run up the steps where it's dark. So I'm telling somebody, throw me my gun, throw me my gun. I start grabbing the door rattle on the door and I lay it down. They shoot up the door. Bop, 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 bop. Wow. I come downstairs, they hit Hot Boy 8 times. He's still living. I hear the car drive off. I run downstairs, jump in the car, take him to the hospital. And I knew like God had something else for me, but I thought that was it. I had to do what I had to do. Right. I never seen them. They went to school with me, never seen them. Wow. Hot Boy told me, man, go on to college. You're going to be something. You're going to be a star. First day I got to college, he caught all 8 of them, and he went to prison. Yes. Wow. So after that, I knew that God had a way for me, that I need to change my life. And that's when I said I got to do something legit.
Right. Maybe it really was us, but in the height of you guys, both at the height of it, No Limit, Cash Money.
Before he answered that question, also I want to say a few things just to keep the content rolling, just to keep the conversation going, and to spark some interest because I want to further the discussion in the comment section. I want to know what y'all thoughts about this in the comment section because my platform is a platform that represents the South, represents Pimp C, MasterP, Bun B. I got collaborations with Bun B on the show. Done chopped it up with people from the South, man. It's just a Southern thing, man. And I want to know y'all perspective on this. It's like, you know, he said something so interesting that it caught my attention because I just recently came from my hometown and I see brothers still in the neighborhood. Brothers still doing the same thing that they doing. I'm 45 years old. Like, I was the young boy in the city. So the people that I ran around with, they like 5, 10 years older than me, and they still doing the same thing that we was doing in 2000, 2001. And they catching charges, going to jail in the just busted newspaper and still in the streets doing their thing. They bald-headed, looking crazy right now. And then P said you got to want to change, man. You know, I'm going to let it breathe right there because you got to want to change, man. Even if, you know, it costs you your life. You got to want to change, man. It was a period in my life, just to expose a little bit about myself, where I had to make a decision. And that decision, it led me to not knowing what was next, not knowing how I'm going to survive another day. And when I made that decision, it couldn't have been nothing but the best decision for me because it left all the stress and the trauma in the past. It left things in the past. I still research history. I still like to learn about history and talk about historical things though. But in my life, I got to move forward. Even if that means having to cut some limbs off. Even if that means having to cut some legs off and remove some people. I got to keep moving forward regardless. And I ain't even going to have no malice towards you. Next time you see me, I'm going to have a smile on my face and I'm going to still love you. But at the end of the day, if some limbs got to be cut off for me to be able to move forward, I got to keep going, man. That's the same thing like when you eating food and you breathing air and you in toxic environments, you got to remove those environments to move forward. You got to remove those foods out your diet so you can continue to move forward. You got to remove those people out your life if you want to continue to move forward. And, you know, that's something that was interesting that P said you got to want to change.
We look like this is Tupac, Big all over again, but it's even more personal because this is from the same city, it's from the same town, and some of the artists is from opposite projects. It was almost like Wu-Tang.
Like teams.
It was, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So let me
like individuals.
though, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. We a couple blocks up from each other.
Right.
Do you think if it was beef, it would have been a walk? Let's be honest. I like them dudes, man. I was happy for them.
Right.
Even though we just don't get on together, we don't get on. Like, I don't fake it with people. If I don't know you, I ain't hang out with you. I don't do that. You know? So I don't do that. Like, dude, you see, I showed them dudes love. Everywhere I got out, shout out to Cash Money, man, for doing what they got to do. I respect that they come from my hood. I want to see them win. I want to see them eat. That's what we saying. Why we can't be on every block like the Gucci and Versace and all that shit, man?
It's the same clock. It's the same clock.
I'm going to rewind that back, but I want to talk before I do rewind that back because it was a message of unification at the end. But I didn't see no unification their whole career. Like, these boys ain't never really did no music together. The only people that you can say out of their crew that did art together was BG and C Murder. And they did a hell of a job, a phenomenal song, a historical song together, though. But it's a lot of people that want to remove themselves from hip-hop because they don't look at it as an art form no more. And it really is an art form. It's just that, man, you know, we got to leave this petty shit behind, this slavery mentality behind, and be able to create and be able to unify. Even, you know, folks don't want to unify when they broke. So when they get millions, what people run away from their communities, and I understand it. Even though that ain't what we supposed to do, I understand that shit because I did it. If I would have stayed in my community, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to evolve the way I have, and I might would have died because people who look like me, who I perceive to love me, hated me. And I ain't getting ready to be finessed by no black shit like Wallow said. Even though I disagree with Wallow when he was talking about black businesses and finessing of black businesses, but I see these people have monetized conversations about FBA, monetized conversations about ADOS. It's all about monetization. People ain't really promoting unification and trying to come together. All that shit is cap. Everybody is trying to get a bag, and I really don't believe that these people are standing on business in real life like they say they is. They standing on business on this internet shit, and this ain't even the real world. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in to my show, man. Let's further the conversation in the comment section. This is something that was very interesting to me to be able to hear MasterP speak about this because I was very inspired by Cash Money and No Limit Records throughout my lifetime. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure you go get you some money, and I'm gone. Chip.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.